Ej, znaš šta? Imao sam jednog prijatelja, što me taj svašta naučio. Naučio me kako se...
From the beginning, and in fact I came as a summer student to CERN now 23 years ago, and I was immediately called by the virus of what is happening here at that time already, when they just started up a new machine here and they found this famous so-called W and Z particles, which were these very heavy particles, and that was a time of great excitement, because they knew something new was going to be produced. You were waiting for that. I wasn't involved in the experiment, but being in the lab alone was already enough sort of to get excited by that. And I think since then I've always been excited about pushing further, trying to find new things, going into data, measuring stuff which no man has measured before in a sort of way, and see how we can learn from that and complete our understanding of matter and in fact the universe where we come from. There is a certain level of vanity with physicists, as you have in other disciplines. So you would like to be better than the other, so you really work even extra harder not to be the last experiment that is completed, not to have sort of the worst results we're getting out of that. You want to be the best, and that is really a drive also, which happens if you have like two competing quote-unquote experiments, because it's, as I said, it's a friendly competition. So therefore, if there is talk about that, that might change in future. I don't think it will be healthy also for that reason.
In spite of what Albert says, you win, and then you slowly get chipped away at your winning. I mean, when you have that moment, the laboratory, which is in this case would be CERN, is very interested in hearing more details. Like, are you sure? Are you sure that you're right? Are you sure this new result is right? What about the other people? Shouldn't we wait a little bit longer before you publish your thing and hear what the other people have to say? And maybe that's healthy, but I agree with Albert. The initial feeling is excellent, and you have a few drinks with your colleagues from the other experiment, and you say, well, you know, I hope you guys come along soon. I mean, it's very nice to be where we are now, and I hope you come soon, and that kind of thing. But but in the long run, it's quite common that a laboratory will encourage you to, before you publish, to let the other team have a chance, so that they're really confident in the result, because these results are important. These are not like measuring the compressibility of rubber. These are fantastically important fundamental results, and it matters very much that they're right. It matters much more that they're right than who got there first. So, I mean, although there's the initial pleasure, I think, you know, in time, I think many of these things, it won't be like one team publishes a result and the other one says, oh, well, too bad, we missed it. It won't happen that way. At least, I think that's been our experience in the past.
We saw at the collider, which I just mentioned in Hamburg, we saw something that looked really like something new, something that was building up in the data. We saw something coming out in one experiment. And as it happens, at the same time in the competitive experiment, also something started to show up. So definitely it was discussed first, sort of at the management level, to see if these things indeed are compatible with each other. And only after that, some kind of announcement was made and the things were made public. So there is a certain discipline, because I think it is important, and I fully agree with what Sebastian says there. It's important to be first, but one has to be right. And the credibility of the field is depending on that, and the whole scientific credibility of the experiments. So being right is the prime goal, actually.
So it's not to win, but to be right and win?
Yeah. That's
it's
right.
It's the pleasure. It's the old story about the dogs which go and search for the truffles. You know, the theorists are the people who own the dogs, and the experimentalists are the dogs. So the theorists come up with some beautiful ideas, and the experimentalists are the dogs. They go and they fetch the truffles, and they get to hold the truffles. Or is it dogs or pigs? I don't
Pigs,
even remember.
actually,
It's pigs, yeah. And the pigs get to hold the truffles in their mouth for just that little minute before the theorists then snatch them away. So I think it's a little bit of that. I mean, there's the pleasure of getting there. It's a pleasure of doing it. I don't know. Is it more pleasure doing it than getting there? I don't know. Hard to say. Oh, I'd love to be in the middle of it. I like to be right in the middle of the search, and see the first glimmerings of these particles that we're looking for. Of course, everyone feels the same, I think.